Day. Hello, my networking friend. It's so good to see you today. It has been a full plate day. It's been a full plate week. How about you? By full plate, there's a lot going on, but not all of it is bad because there's always two sides to every coin. Don't you agree? I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to Networking Know How. This is the weekly live training where I share some insight to help you network more effectively and stress free, like we do in our down and dirty networking community. Now, get up and chat. Let me know where you're watching from, whether you're watching live or you're watching on replay. I love to connect with everyone from all over the globe. That's the beauty of virtual networking and connecting this way. Now, if we have not yet connected yet, let me introduce myself. I'm Laura Morlando, the Stress Commando, and I am the founder and CEO of Down and Dirty Networking. We are a 100% relational online networking community. 100% relational. So today I've got a really great short training that I wanted to bring to you guys. We had our monthly event, our monthly member event, and it really just kind of put a punctuation, an exclamation mark on the theme for this week, which was the inspiration for the quote that we had in Tip Tuesday yesterday. And that is, what is the secret trick to boosting your career or business? What is the secret trick to boosting your career or business? Because some of the conversations that I've had here lately are a couple folks are in the corporate space and a couple folks are in the entrepreneurial space. But what I find is the common thread is that they're both looking for ways to boost their career. And their perspective on how to do that, like what they mean by boost, is a little bit different. So, on one hand, there's this one type of networking that we most are familiar with, which is traditional networking, or as I call it, transactional networking, where you're focused on exchanging leads, referrals, or job offers. And so that's the more of the 30-second commercial, or hi, my name is, buy my stuff, give me a job, give me a promotion, or something to that effect. That's more traditional networking. And when people think of networking, that's typically the default setting most people have. But I have learned there's another type of networking, and I call it relational networking. And that's what we're founded on here in Down and Dirty Networking. So, what the heck is relational networking? It's focused 100% on having meaningful conversations to build lasting and authentic relationships. There are no 30-second commercials, there are no sales pitches, there's no transactions occurred. And so when you're focused on relational networking, there's a secret trick within that really boosts your career. But it depends. If you're thinking that boosting my career is how much can I sell, how much job offers can I get, or the promotion that I get, if your metric for success in boosting your career or business is based on the transactional nature of traditional networking, this may or may not work for you. This is a different metric and a different way of approaching that is 100% geared in the relational networking space and the relational networking mindset. So here's what I'm talking about. Boosting a career sometimes is having inspiration and insight into something you need to know, something you have no idea that you might have a blind spot or block towards, to elevate the way you are currently doing business. There's also an added advantage in the way that you approach networking. Your approach speaks 100% to your reputational capital. So if your approach is all about buy my stuff, you're going to be known as that salesy person. If, however, you approach things more from a relational mindset and relational networking mindset, you're going to be more known for someone who sees values and hears others. Now, the secret trick, I know I've kept you waiting for a while, but the secret trick is this: curiosity. Be curious. When you are engaging in conversation with someone, when you're focused on transactional networking, you're thinking in your head the next thing that you need to say. Did I get it right? Did I memorize my elevator pitch? You're not really focused on the other person. When you're more relational networking minded and you adopt this secret trick of being curious, you're going to lean in and want to learn more about the other person. And that is the way you have a more meaningful conversation in relational networking, is learning from and about someone. When you're curious, you're less focused on telling and selling and talking so much. You're able to ask questions. Now, to kind of prove this point and why this is really helpful and where this boosts your career, like I said earlier, we had our member event today for Down and Dirty Networking. And in the event, We all just have a conversation based on a topic. It's a different format every month. Nobody knows what it is until they show up. So it's an organic, authentic, no practiced conversation, very heart centered. And today was a good example of the power of being curious. When you're curious and you're asking open ended questions, even though we had it curated in a format today, you got to learn from people that maybe either A, you didn't think there was room for you to learn anything because you're just too busy with all the to dos of the day, or you might have prejudged someone. In our event today, we actually had our high school interns, which I'm super proud that they both were there. They did such a great job. It could be easy for us to prejudge that maybe they don't have anything to add to the conversation because of their age. The reverse is true. They may be looking at us thinking, "Oh, there's not going to be anything of interest. They can't relate to me because of age." So it could be the perspective on both sides. But what I have learned is if you don't prejudge, you're curious to learn from and about someone, you will be amazed with the things that you learn, the wisdom that is shared, and the ahas that you have. And when you're curious to someone, and here's the magic trick, when you're curious about someone, there's going to be something that they say that you learn about them or from them that just lights you up, gives you goosebumps, just lights you up vibrationally and energetically. When you hear that, that is reflecting back to you either something you identify in yourself or the thing you needed to hear in that moment. Both can, they can actually be the same thing. But you're like, "Oh my gosh, I so needed to do this." In either case, you're going to be able to raise your vibrational energy. When you have very high vibrational energy, your brain has space to focus, it has clarity, and it can actually think, analyze, and be far more creative. And so when you're having this conversation, you have no idea what they're going to say or what you could learn. The reverse happens. They're curious about us, so we're having to share our heart centered, thoughtful thoughts. And all of a sudden, because of the topic and the way that we had it today, was like, I had no idea that I hadn't really thought of it this way. I hadn't thought about this. And you start to be more proud of yourself, more aware of how far you've come, what you've achieved. You get to realize that you're creating impact in the other person based on what they're telling you. Because think about it, if you said something to me and I said, "Oh my gosh, you just made my day," that is exactly what I needed to hear today for this reason. How good is that going to make you feel when I share that to you? When I share that with you, you're going to be able to say, "Oh my gosh, I just mattered. This is great." Your vibrational energy is going to start going through the roof because you're going to have made a difference because you cared, because you were showing value, and because everyone was being curious. When that happens, here's the added advantage. This is where it boosts your career. Not only are you getting the ideas from everybody else, but you're getting a reflection back on the impact that you have, that you can make into the world. Regardless of whether you're a corporate professional or an entrepreneur, you're going to recognize the impact that you make. You're going to recognize your worth and value. And that tapping into your personal power sometimes is all you need to make all the difference, to show up more powerfully and more confidently when you're going about your day to day. I suspect most all of us go around and what we're doing is good enough, but we don't see it as good enough. Maybe we've got the lens of perfectionism in our way, thinking it's got to be perfect. When instead, we need to be pursuing excellence, good enough, and done is better than perfect. As long as we're moving forward and creating impact along the way, that is the absolute best you can do. Perfection, I'm a recovering perfectionist, so trust me, I know it's not very healthy behavior. It prevents you from doing, it stops you in your tracks from providing impact, and you end up going down this negative spiral. So when you're curious with relational networking, it gets you excited to get active. It gets you excited to take imperfect action. It gets you excited to create impact. And so not only are you raising your reputational capital because you're showing up curious, caring about people, really wanting to have an authentic conversation. And so people are like, "Hey, I like this person for being so authentic, for being transparent." We do business, we hire, and we collaborate with people we know, like, and trust. The surefire way to develop that instantly is to be curious. That is the networking secret trick to boost your career. You're going to get things reflected back to you about the impact that you provide. And you will be amazed and surprised on what you're able to accomplish, what you're able to become aware of about yourself, and how much better, how much, how you're standing taller. That's the words I'm looking for. How you're standing taller. Hey, I see some people watching live. Thank you for watching online and watching live. And if you're watching a replay, I'm glad you're here too. Now, I was super proud of our interns. It was so powerful to hear their perspectives on the topic and hear their input as we were going through the discussion. It was such a good conversation, and I'm super proud of this fact. With everything that I do, and especially here at Down and Dirty Networking, we always chime in to see where our vibrational energy level is. There's no wrong answer. It's just where your energy level is. My goal is to raise it. So we check in at the beginning of the event, we check in at the end of the event. Where is your vibrational energy level? My goal is to always raise it. We had significant jumps in vibrational energy today at our member event simply because people were curious and they were generous with what they were sharing with everybody else. And at the end, when everybody had this high vibrational energy, everyone was like, okay, I'm ready to just kind of go out and conquer the world. That is where you tap into your personal power, the power that we sometimes tend to not pay attention to or believe is true and powerful. So I hope this was helpful for you. Be curious. That is the secret trick to boosting your career or business, tapping into your personal power, and showing up in a way that's going to absolutely skyrocket your reputational capital. I would love to hear what you think about this. If this has been helpful, chime in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. If you liked what you're hearing today, give me a thumbs up. And even better yet, if there's someone you can think of that you would love to share these tips with, tag them in the comments or share it on your profile. That's the highest form of praise you can give us to make sure that we're spreading this awareness to everybody else. And if there's someone that has raised your vibrational energy in the past week, tag them and say, thank you for raising my vibrational energy. And if they're like, huh, what is she talking about? Hopefully they get the understanding here. You will always have impact when you can say thank you to people that have really mattered and make a difference. That thank you may be the very thing that they needed to hear in that moment. All right. I hope this was helpful. Like I said, put a thumbs up, comment, or tag a friend. And if you want to see past episodes, we had a couple of topics that lean into this series of curiosity. Make sure to go back on our Facebook, our LinkedIn, or our YouTube page for Down and Dirty Networking, and you will see all the past networking know-how episodes. All right, my friend, I'm so glad that you are here. Stay tuned. Every Wednesday, I go live between 3:30 and 5:30 Central Standard Time to help you network more stress-free, to raise your vibrational energy, and to be more effective and fulfilled, all stress-free. Thanks so much for watching, and until next week, stay tuned for more tips and tricks on our pages, on our LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube page. And oh, by the way, Networking Boost, our bi-monthly newsletter just dropped this morning. So if you haven't tuned into our Networking Boost, there's more tips there as well. So check out our LinkedIn and our Facebook page for Down and Dirty Networking to access all of the great resources that are available there to you. All right. Again, thanks, my friend, for joining. I appreciate you. And until next Wednesday, happy networking.